Hey, what's up, y'all? Thank you for stopping by my channel. If you are watching this video, that means you are interested in taking this journey with me, my very first chemical peel. When I went and got my dermaplaning in June of 2022, I was told at the time that I would be a good candidate for a chemical peel. And I was hesitant, but my skin is relentless. The hyperpigmentation won't let me be great. And so I figured, let's bite the bullet and hope for the best. So a little bit about me and my skin. I have combo skin. I wasn't the person who had skin problems in high school. My skin problems came when I was in college, and they have not left my side since. And as you can see, this is my problematic area. Pretty much anytime I get a breakout, it's gonna leave a spot. So these are the latest breakouts I've had. Some have faded over the years, but for the most part, they also pop up in the same places. So you can see my problem areas. And that is what I'm hoping getting this chemical peel will fix. I don't know how often I have to get a chemical peel. I mean, again, we're hoping for good results. That'll be something I ask the esthetician about. That's a very hard title for me to say. I don't know if I am allowed to record in there, but I'll try and do the best I can. And basically what this is going to do is document the entire process. So this is day one, pre-chemical peel. This is what I'm looking like. And as much as it pains me, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So again, you see all this. This one has, what am I trying to say? I can feel it. This one I can feel. These are flat. Everything's flat. Everything's flat. But still, I can kind of sort of feel that it's low. But yeah, we are tired of feeling ugly. We want to try to feel pretty. And hopefully the chemical peel will help with that. So come along this journey with me. Again, this is day one. Hello, I am back giving you glazed donut realness. I wasn't able to record in there. They have a whole thing about it. But the overall process was fine. Laid down. She gave me a handheld fan because there was like a burning / tingling situation that was happening throughout. And she would just put different layers of stuff on my face. And yeah, first layer wasn't fine, just a little tingle. And then gradually as she kept adding stuff, it was like, okay, let me move the fan up a little more. But otherwise it was fine. I was in and out in less than 30 minutes. In terms of the process itself. So it was good. I walked out with, hold on, I'm trying to do too many things. I have notes. Hold on. Since I couldn't show you, I took notes. I walked out with 1, 2, hold on, I feel like I can zoom out. Okay, that's it. I walked away with 4 different situations here. The first one is their Image skincare. Wait, nope, that's day 10. Hold on. Day 1 is the Balancing Facial Cleanser. So I am to use this every day. You know, it's a great, I guess every day until day 10. Yeah, I think that was what it was. So I have this for day 1, and then I follow it with this, which is the Intense Facial Illuminator. And then I follow step 2 with step 3, which is a SPF 30. So I got my steps 1 through 3 to use starting tomorrow. And then on day 10, this is a total resurfacing mask. And she said to rub it in for a minute, let it sit for a minute, and then rinse it off. So that's it. Here's what I should have asked. Is this considered day 1 or no? Because she was like, use all these things starting tomorrow. So what counts as day 1? I consider this day 1. So I didn't wash my face at all today. I didn't want to do anything that could mess it up. They tell you to refrain from using retinol prior to your appointment. So I pretty much just haven't been doing any real skincare because I do know that I have a few products with retinol in them. And I was just like, I ain't about to read all of these ingredients in these products. So how about I just do a real basic, what is it called? Clearasil? Real basic Clearasil and Clinique face wash, Clinique lotion, and we going to bed. So those were like my morning and evening face washes over the past 5 to 7 days prior to the appointment, just to make sure that I didn't do anything that could be a problem. So, I do want to give you a brief little synopsis about the history of my skin. So I tend to break out every month. If you're a woman, then you already know what happens once a month and why I tend to break out. And as I mentioned before, those things, the breakouts tend to lead to hyperpigmentation. And what basically ends up happening with me is I'll find products that are able to keep my breakouts in check. And what usually happens is I'll find this new product, it'll keep my breakouts in check temporarily, and then eventually my skin bucks the system and then it starts breaking out again. It's like it becomes accustomed to whatever the product was, and now I have to try something totally different in order to get it under control again. So that's something I've been doing on and off for years. I've been to dermatologists who've prescribed me stuff. I've done Curology, and back in the day I did, what was that stuff called? Proactive. I've done over the counter. I've done all of the things. I'm trying to increase my water intake. This has a little mango juice in it, but that's neither here nor there. Point is, this is one of my last resorts. Also, I told her my objective for the chemical peel was to rid myself of the hyperpigmentation, which low key I'm worried about because every month is going to come. So is it, I left that part out when I was telling her about it, but I did let her know my purpose for getting a chemical peel is to rid myself of this hyperpigmentation. I was like, and in an effort to do that, how often do you suggest I get a chemical peel? She said every 4 weeks. That's a lot, especially because she said I'm going to be peeling for 5 to 10 days. I'm just like, so I will go back in the beginning of February just to kind of see. She did say that it's harder or it's easier for you, it's suggested basically to get chemical peels in, I have a lot of headroom, hold on. She said it's suggested to get chemical peels in the winter. In the summer when it's hotter out, it makes it a little more complicated. So I basically plan to get them every 4 weeks until maybe April or May, and then we'll just kind of see how my skin does, especially again with Mother Nature popping in ever so often. It'll be interesting to see how it works. So again, this is day 1, and I'll be checking in with you over the next 5 to 10 days to see how everything goes. And she did say, keep in mind you'll be shedding. I was like, yeah, I'm prepared. And you know what? This was a missed opportunity. I should have asked her whether or not I could wear makeup. I don't have anything planned that would require it, but it would have been a good question to ask next time.
Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, well, I don't wanna jinx it, baby, and twist myself.
This is day 2, because as I've declared, I'm considering yesterday day 1. I was told to sleep with the products that had been put on my face yesterday. So I did not wash my face yesterday after the chemical peel. And so now I'm just going in with step 2, the illuminator. She didn't say anything about toner or anything like that, and I didn't think to ask again. So as I said, these will be questions for the next time. Ooh, ooh, ooh. It's not the kind of, it's a runny situation. And I'm trying to use it sparingly because as far as I am concerned, I should use this every day until day 10. Okay. I was trying to look and see if it tells me if I should pat or dab. I'll pat. I mean pat or rub, you know what I mean. All right, step 2 is done. And step 3, sunscreen. So SPF 30. My skin isn't itchy, as you can see, it's not peeling yet. My face has itched, but I just attribute it to normal, just regular itching. All right, my skin does feel very soft. And I would suggest, if you get a chemical peel, to put a pillowcase on that you don't either care too much about or don't mind getting a little, because I did have some of the product for my face was on my pillowcase, which is fine, but just something to keep in mind. So here we are, day 2, still looking how I did before, just skin is super soft. Good afternoon. It's Saturday. I got the chemical peel on Thursday, and there's still not much change, which gives me pause. Although I did realize today that, remember the step 1 I showed you? I was supposed to rub it in for a minute and let it sit for a minute. I didn't realize that I wasn't doing that until today. So I don't know if that has any impact on anything, but I was washing my face and I was like, I feel like there's something I'm supposed to be doing that I'm not. And I was like, girl, you wrote it down. How did you forget that this was a part? It was early when I washed my face Friday morning. So, and it was just, Friday morning and then Friday evening. I've decided I'm going to use both of those. All the things that they gave me, I'm going to use them twice a day, with the exception of the SPF. I'm not going to use that at night, but I'm going to use everything else twice a day until I run out. This is another situation where I regret not asking the question, how often do I just use this in the day? But we'll know for next time. So all of that to say, I will now be following, it's a squirrel in the tree, I'm stalking him. I will be following the directions the way I'm supposed to be from here on out. So, yeah, just a little bit of peeling. My face does feel kind of dry but soft. I thought I'd be peeling a little more by now, but it is what it is. So this is so we didn't count Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's day 2. Good morning. It's day 3, Thursday. We didn't count Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's Sunday. And I gasped when I looked in the mirror this morning because I forgot. I forgot what, was happening. And yeah, I looked in the mirror. So I haven't washed my face yet. I was about to, which is why I looked in the mirror and saw, I don't even know if y'all can see, because it looks crazy. You got it. I hope you can see. Let me come closer. Yeah, there you go. See all that? And right around my nose. Yeah. So it's happening. It's happening. And you know what's funny? I was going to invite a former coworker of mine to go to brunch today. And then something was like, no, because your face going to be peeling. And don't nobody want to sit across from that while they trying to eat. And I'm glad I thought ahead, because I would have, if I would have, basically seeing this today, I would have canceled. So, yeah. But I'm glad that it's doing something, because I was a little worried yesterday. Like, okay, did it not work for me? Am I not a viable candidate? So, it's happening. Hey, it's still Sunday, and we're still peeling, especially around the nose area. I think you can see. I went ahead and washed my face, did all my steps, and just something told me to look up the stuff that I was given, just to kind of see what's up, because I'm thinking if I continue this process until April or May, depending on when it starts to get hot here in Georgia, then I don't want to have to use these things sparingly each time. So I looked up the balancing facial cleanser that I was given. This was, I want to say it was $36. It was 30 plus, but not more than 40. So there's that. And then I looked up this Intense Facial Illuminator. This stuff is $67. It looks like, from the bottle, it looks like it's a serum. And you apply 3 to 5 drops. And it sounds like I have a decent amount, but again, I'm just thinking for post chemical peel care, maybe it'll be good for me to have my own, so I won't have to be trying to use these things sparingly, especially step 1. I've been really careful with it because it's only 0.25 ounces. So not a lot at all. And I'm just trying to be, again, careful with it, because when I'm out, I'm out. So I think I may invest in my skincare and buy full-size bottles of these 2 items for future chemical peels. It's Monday morning. This is how we're looking. Scary. And I think it looks worse before I wash my face, which is why I'm getting y'all now, because the motion of the hand washing takes some of this off. I am not picking at it. I'm just letting it fall off however it falls off in my sleep, and again when I wash my face. So hold on, I'm trying to, sunlight won't let me be great. There you go. So this is Monday. Again, chemical peels Thursday. It's Monday. The face has been washed, and as you can see, there's significantly less shedding. So as I predicted, the soft, gentle motions that I use, especially now when I wash my face, did result in some of the flaking falling off. But as you can see, there's still some. That's hanging on. I need right here. I need right here to be a thing, because this whole little space right here is the bane of my existence. Actually, both sides. Whatever. I need more cheek skin to fall off. The mouth, around the mouth area is fine. That's not the problem area. Okay. It's still happening, and the forehead hasn't seen much action, but that's not a problem area for me either, so I don't really care. And I'm gonna order the products online today so I can have it on hand for future chemical peels, because I am gonna do it again in February. I've decided, or at least that's the plan. So
don't wanna overthink it, baby. It's just me, your body, your mind. Baby, you give me ice and fire. appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, but I don't wanna jinx it, baby. Let's not get ahead of my time. Oh.
It's day 6. I now feel comfortable enough to go out into the world and not feel like people will be wondering why my face looks the way it does. I'm not thrilled about this pimple, which I did have going into the peel, but it was more under the skin and now it's emerged, and I don't like that at all. But we're looking much better today, and for that I'm thankful. Yay. Yay, I got my full-size bottles of my step 1 and step 2, which is great because I ran out of my cleanser today. And yeah, super quick shipping, so greatly appreciate it.
But I don't wanna miss you, baby. So I stand up and speak my mind. Oh. You're chilling wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're channeling wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly.
Day 8, and at this point everything is around my hairline, so not the full perimeter of it, but right here, and as you can see right there, that's how we're looking on day 8.
You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, 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 oh,
Hey Siri, set a timer for 15 minutes.
15 minutes is starting now.
And with that, it's day 10, and as far as I know, I don't have any other steps to complete. This is a mask that I was instructed to apply. Just put it on cleansed skin, leave on for 5 to 15 minutes. I chose for 15. Wet hands, massage skin for 1 minute, rinse with warm water. So that's what I did. And then I followed it with the serum. And I need to put on some sunscreen. And yeah, as far as I know, there's not anything else for me to do after day 10. So this is what my skin looks like now. And overall, do I feel like changes, results? No. But here's why I'm still going to get another chemical peel. This is years worth of scarring, and I don't expect for years worth of scarring to be gone after one chemical peel. I am, however, hoping that after several of them, I can see some real results. I do think my skin is smoother, just in terms of how it feels, the texture, a little smoother, and hopefully I don't sound ridiculous. I think I'm glowing just a little bit, but I attribute it to this illuminator that I'm using. But it just kind of seems like my skin looks a little brighter, a little glowy. Again, it could be all in my head. It could be these freshly applied products. But that's how I look. So I'm trying to take something away from it, because I just don't want to be like, oh, I paid this money and went through these days of uncomfortableness, is that a word? And I don't feel no ways, so to speak, about how I look in the end. I'm trying to find some positivity here. So that's what I'm taking from it. As I've said, I've already booked my appointment for February, so now I kind of know when to book it based off timing, because again, the esthetician told me 4 weeks, every 4 or 5 weeks. I can't remember what I said initially, but yes, like 4 or 5 weeks. And so I'm just trying to plan that around life stuff, because you definitely want to be in kind of hiding around days 4 and 5. Day 3 maybe, but definitely days 4 and 5, or at least that was my experience. And then you can kind of sort of start to peek your head out a little more and go out into society. But yeah, so all of that to say, now that I have a better idea of what to expect, I can plan life around my next few peels. So I am hoping that after a few more of them, I can see some real results. What else was I gonna say? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I definitely will go in with more questions next time, one of them being, so what do I do after day 10? Can I go back to using my normal products for face washing, or at least maybe at night or during the day? At least at one point during the day, can I go back to using some of my already purchased products so that they won't go to waste? That's one of the main things I'm wondering now. But yeah, I do have a tiny whitehead right here and one right there. I am gonna leave them alone for today, but tonight I might end up putting patches on them just to kind of nip them before they get too bad. So we'll see. But all in all, good experience. I'm gonna do it again and again and again, at least until April, and then I'll lay off for the summer and just see what happens. But that's been my experience with my very first chemical peel. Thank you so much for taking this ride with me. Have you had a chemical peel? What were your results? How many did you have? You know, did you feel good about it? Because like I said, my first one, I'm like, but I'm hoping that with each one, I'll be like, okay, now I'm starting to see some fading. And what I also really need help with is keeping them from coming, because if I get a pimple, it's gonna scar. Unfortunately, that's just the way my skin is set up. But all of that to say, if you had a chemical peel, I'm interested to hear about your experience. So, especially if you are a black woman or a melanated person. But otherwise, I still want to hear your experience. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. If you've gotten this far, thank you so much. Your hair is tickling me. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. And be sure to like and subscribe if you found this interesting. Okay, I'll see y'all later. Bye.